So yes, the impact drugs have made in our life, my life especially, has just been life bonding. It's just been, it takes so much from you. It's literally just it becomes your world. It in and out of jail, time away from your kids, struggling every day. It's consumed my life, and yes, addiction is hard.
When we first found out we were expecting Maddie Mae, we were both in addiction. Um, I knew that I had to get out because I was carrying her. So I moved to Houston to get sober, and I was hoping Quincy would follow and go to rehab and get sober. But I think that God gave us Maddie Mae to give us another chance. It was hope, and we hadn't felt hope in so long. My kids were gone; his kids were in Texas. She brought us a second chance and a chance at hope.
So yes, my first encounter with Church of the King Kinder, which was the Family Place Church, was something less than a miracle. So I went to Reeves to get away from the city, or however you want to put that, to try to get sober and stay sober. And it was the only place I had to go, which was my father's house. My wife and her aunt had been praying for me to go to a church. So we Googled the churches here in Reeves. And of course, there was only two of them. So uh, we left that morning. I went to go to a church. It was actually a Baptist church, and they were closed. Church of the King Kinder opened up an hour early before they did, and somehow I got the times mixed up. And we're driving back home. My dad drops me off on the side of the road. I walk up to the Family Place Church, which is COTK Kinder, and there was a man greeting the doors, Waylon Bertrand, just so happened to be the chief of police of Reeves. I had not seen this man for about 5 years. Last time we had encountered each other was in way different circumstances, kind of led to a police chase, and it was a pretty big deal. I'd moved from Reeves. So anyways, I'd seen him. I turned around and walked back. I was leaving. I wasn't even going to go into church. So I got to the corner and I turned back around and went back up to the door, and he just greeted me with a big hug and was like, hey, whatever the past was is the past. You're here to come to church, come on in and worship God. So I walked in and met Pastor Kevin and Brother Glenn and Chris Boudreau, and they literally just opened the church to me. They were just so open, and the love from everybody was overwhelming. Um,
It was home.
yeah,
And it was the church, they gave us food when Maddie was born. They threw us a shower.
yeah,
Um, our wedding cake, everything was covered. We had never had that before, not from our own friends, much less our church
yeah.
family. So they really, they did show us like unconditional love. They definitely impacted our marriage and our life because, I mean, it was amazing. And it truly did impact our lives,
Yes.
our
So
marriage, our family, all of it.
right before we got married that day, I got
Yep.
baptized.
Yeah.
So that was the first for me. That was really nice.
Yeah. It was a really beautiful start.
It was.
It was.
Pastor Kevin and Chris Boudreau was just amazing at just showing you love for
No reason.
yeah, I never felt that before. Of course, from my parents, but just somebody else. I mean, I didn't know what it meant for somebody to care about you for no reason. They didn't want anything from you besides to see you change your life and have a relationship with God. So that was amazing.
Relapse was hard. It was humiliating. It was, it's a point where you shouldn't be, but you're there and you don't know how to get out of it. So, we were hiding from God. We were hiding from everyone in the church. It's just so humiliating and so depressing.
It was. So we'd been sober for 7 months. like, that was the first time I'd ever got sober in 20 something years, um, but it was good, that 7 months was something that I'd never felt before, so it was hard to lose that, when we relapsed, our baby got taken, we went to jail, we lost everything we had that we had just built up in them 7 months, a vehicle, a house, we got married, so to lose that from that relapse was just it was really hard. Like I said, we lost our baby, we went to jail, but we had had a wonderful feeling through them 7 months of being sober and going to church and having the support from the church, um, having me personally, I had such a, big, I almost call it a high from God, just a feeling from you, that you would get, that just fulfilled you, this I didn't even need that high anymore from the drugs, so that was amazing. But when we lost that, we relapsed. I wanted that back, we both did.
Yeah, even
So
though we were down at our lowest, there was still like a piece of hope in there. So when we did go to jail, we talked about it. We were like, "That's it. We're just like this was a hiccup. We're gonna get
yeah,
back on our feet," and we did. As soon as we
yeah,
got out, we came straight to
we
church. Like
did.
ran to church
We
because we knew they were here.
do devotionals every morning. We went to a sober living house. We did that for 30 days. Then we did a 9-month program to get our baby back. Drove from Lake Charles to Reeves to come to church every Sunday. Um, and we just got back on it. We praised God and He got our baby back, and
Yeah,
it was good.
yeah,
The church was the church family was such a big role in us coming back and staying sober, and the support from them was just unbelievable. I mean, they supported us through the whole thing. There was never no judgment, there was just, "Hey, y'all got this. Let's get back in the church." And
hmm
we lived in Lake Charles. We drove for 2 years, an hour and a half just to come to church every Sunday, and not just that,
sometimes twice.
sometimes twice. My son was in, youth, on Wednesdays, and so, I mean, we didn't miss a beat, we knew that we had to be obedient, and we had to hear what God was telling us to do, and it was to be a COTK Kinder Church, we
I
knew
agree.
that
I
that,
agree.
it was gonna get better, we knew that if we just stayed obedient and we just praised God and did the right time we did the right thing in time, it would come back to us, and it did.
I did, and they helped us every
It
step of the
did
way.
every step of the way.
They kept us accountable. They were here for us. It was exactly what we needed at the exact right time. Well, I think in the beginning, whenever we had first gotten married, we lived in a bliss. It was exciting and everything was going well, but when it didn't, we just gave up. We didn't trust God to provide the next meal. We didn't trust God
Yeah.
to get us out of our situations. We just made our decisions ourselves. So I feel like our relationship hasn't evolved in the way that now, if we're going through hard times, we pray about it and we expect God to deliver an answer. It might not be the one we want, but we do know He's going to deliver. So I feel like our faith and our obedience has come a long way, and God shows up for us.
Yes, very much. Know that, you don't have to be the person, the addict that you think you are. Um, you don't have to feel like that you have to be in bondage like that for the rest of your life, that there is a way out. And if you do, and you are obedient and you let God actually really work in your life, that you can change it. You can definitely have a better life, be a better husband, a better son, a better father. Um, that but you have to be obedient and you have to put in that work. But it is possible, with God's help, you can definitely be out of that and live a good life. Uh,
Yeah. We want to let people know that there is hope.
yes.
There is hope. He will always give you something. And once you grab that, you have like the blessings are endless. the blessings just keep coming and coming and coming. With every
Yeah.
like step of obedience, we are blessed tenfold.
In 23 years of addiction before, we went to COTK Kinder, and we had a church family, a support system is like that from church and relationship with God. I figured I didn't know that I could be anything else. I literally thought my life was um, being a junkie, however you want to put that, an addict. I didn't, I couldn't even ever imagine or dream of not being an addict. I thought that was my life. I thought, of course you have choices, but once you get into that lifestyle, I didn't know there was another way out. I had no idea that, um, that God could actually change, your life and your feelings. So yes, we want everybody to know that, through God, anything's possible.
Breaking Free is a recovery meeting that we host. It's not AA and it's not church. Whenever we started the meeting, we prayed about how we could be different. So we just want people to have a place to do life with other addicts.
Yes.
We want to have a place where we can sit and we can talk and we can work through all of our issues and then go home and know that you have us to call. That they have a place to come with people like them that they can do life with.
Have a good support group, and to try to lead them into of course, a good relationship with God, because I feel, and this is just me personally, that without that, it could be really hard. Yes. So that was such a for me an accomplishment or a good feeling, to have a church family, a pastor to entrust something like that and believe in you. This is just heartbreaking.
Warming.
Heartwarming. It's an honor, you know.
Yeah, it's great to know that God can use all of our mistakes
Yeah.
and to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Breaking free is super important to us.
Super important.
And I think it's going to have a huge impact in the future.